everyone, welcome back. It's Emmett from Haven for Heroes. This is gonna be a kind of a weird video that doesn't really mean much, or it means a lot. So, as you can see, we'll flash it back and forth. There's a green screen behind me. This is where we shot the our first shoot for the movie that we're doing. More to come on that, but first, let's get to our new comic shop. This time, our new comic shop is an online store called Vegas Comic Kingdom. It's vegascomics.com. Guy reached out to me. He says, hey, I've started a business. I was a little intimidated. Now I've opened up the business. I told him I would give him a shout out. I haven't bought anything from him yet, but he's got a nice little website and, you know, it's comics. Help the guy out. Let him get started. So vegascomics.com. He's on Instagram, Vegas Comics Kingdom. Also, Gorilla Todd Comics is another shop in Vegas. I don't think I've mentioned. I wanted to get out there. He is also freshly opened March 1st, I believe was his first day. Congratulations, Gorilla Todd Comics. So what's going on? Yeah, so everybody may know I retired. I talked about it forever. Never felt like it was gonna get here, but I retired from my regular job of 27 years in October. I put 3 solid months into the store, getting it to where it is now. Spring is here, it's March. It's time to start the movie I've been talking about. If you look at one of my old videos, we talk about it. I talked about it on my Facebook page and Instagram. We are doing a movie. The working title is You'll Remember Me Because I Dismembered You. It is an 80s horror film. I call it the blood and boobs genre. We've started, it has begun, and you can't finish anything until you start it, and we have started it. So stay tuned for possible Kickstarter in a few months to help fund the ending of the film and the post-production and distribution. That's the big thing happening there. What's the big thing happening in comics? Because that's why you come here. Haven for Heroes, a comic shop, all this other gobbledygook. What are we talking about? Let's talk about comics. Diamond is calling in their chip. So everybody who took 90 days and it went to 6 months, it went to 2 years, it went to 10 years. I guess there's some that is, I read in the article, they're not going to be able to get that money back, probably because those businesses have already been dissolved. But if you are a comic shop that owes Diamond any money, and I mean any money, I mean $10 up to millions, they want it. They want it now. And it's really not them. I'm sure it definitely has to do with the courts. The bankruptcy court is probably calling in all that debt so that they can pay off the people that Diamond owes. So everybody's been robbing Peter and not paying Paul. This is the come to Jesus moment. Everybody has to, you know, open their bank account, sell off some stuff. By the way, if you're a comic shop owner and you're one of the people that owe money and you're looking to liquidate some comics, you can always contact me on Instagram. I don't pay a fair price. Just kidding. Everybody knows the price I pay. If you've got good stuff, I pay 40%. For bulk, I pay $40 a long box on modern-ish books, and I pay $50 to $70 on Bronze Age books with a little, if you have Silver Age, it doesn't go up until you have long boxes of Silver Age. And then usually if you have long box of Silver Age, there's some money in there, so we'd be paying 40% anyway. So that's out there, and I'm not the only guy. I do have a limited amount of resources. I'm not one of these comic moguls. I did not make a gazillion amount of money during the grading scandal of post-COVID. Yes, I call it a scandal. Everybody knows how I feel about grading and the profits that were made on it. It's a bubble that has burst. It is coming down. It's a softer landing than I expected. I will have to say that I was definitely wrong, that I thought this crash would hurt a lot more than it has. I thought it would put a lot of people out of business who had invested in buying books at 80 or 90% to then grade and then flip to make 20%. Back to what I was talking about. So will this save Diamond if they get every dime from everybody? No. because there's a large amount of money that is not going to be able to be recouped because some of these comic businesses have gone out. They've gone out of business. They're not going to be able to get that money, and I guess Diamond owes 33 to 39 million. The word is that, I mean, I've heard all kinds of different numbers, but I think in this article it said there was $11 million that was outstanding that they should be able to, that the comic stores are still in business today, and they're going to have to pony up. So if they have that inventory and they haven't just sold it and then spent the money, they probably could get a loan for a portion of it. They probably could sell off a portion of it to make the money. This would help the small print that are owed money from Diamond. I don't want to call anybody out because I don't know their circumstance, but there are a lot of really small prints that imprints and small publishers is what I'm talking about, who are really hurt from Diamond not being able to pay them currently. And kind of a little bit of a surprise. Everybody's like, oh, it shouldn't have been a surprise. It's always a surprise. Like, be honest, we all saw it coming, but did you see it coming that day that they announced? No. And it's kind of really hard to unleash your cart that you're attached to and, find another wagon to hook up to, right? It didn't seem like Lunar or Penguin was very, hey, come on over here, get an exclusive deal with us for some of these small publishers. I keep calling them imprints, I'm sorry, I mean publishers. That's where we're at there. If you pay your bill, they can pay some of their bills and save some of these prints. So pay up! Stop being a deadbeat. I've said this for a long time. You can go back and listen to a lot of my videos. I run my business like I used to drink. I put my money on the bar, and when it's gone, I can't drink anymore. And that's how I buy my comics. That's how I buy my collections. Somebody comes to me with a great collection, I may have to team up with a buddy if I've just bought 2 or 3 other collections, or, because we have so many SKUs now. Emmett's buying huge video game collections. He's buying DVDs and album collections and hopefully as many comic collections as I can get also. And definitely toy collections, because toys have been very, very good to me. If you used to watch Saturday Night Live a long time ago, as baseball used to be very, very good to him. Toys have been fantastic. Video games have been fantastic. I love comics. I'll always do them. They are very up and down. When there's excitement in the new industry, I see more comics selling across the board. Old, new, super old. Like when comics have something going on and it's exciting, it brings people to the table. It brings people back to the table. Oh, I don't want to miss out. I haven't been collecting for 4 or 5 years. And I was one of those guys. I had stopped collecting for the comic shop I loved sold to a new owner. I hated the guy that bought it. I didn't like how I was treated. I spent a lot of money there. And instead of trying to find and we talk about this on the industry show. If you didn't know, you can watch me on Tuesday nights as a guest. They graciously let me come on and spew my nuttiness on Beyond Wednesdays on the industry show. Tuesday night we were on there and we were talking about this, and we've talked about it a lot. How when a comic shop goes out of business or it changes to an owner you don't like, a lot of the people that leave that comic shop don't go to another one. They just stop collecting. I was one of those guys. So in the theory that everybody has on this, I'm proof of the test. So about 5 years or so went by and I didn't buy any comics. And then I think I found an issue that I didn't have of a comic that I loved at a yard sale or a flea market, and I read it, and then I was like, there was an event that came up in the New 52. The New 52 is what brought me back, 2011. Scott Snyder's Batman in the New 52, the Court of Owls. I'm an old man, so I forget a lot, but now that I'm talking about it and the memories start flowing back, it's very psychedelic. You might see some psychedelic behind me right now. And it was only 3 years after the beginning of that is when I opened my store. So everybody knocks the big two of they have years and years of really poor production. And then they do something fantastic, and it brings people to the table and brings people into comics. Absolute has brought a lot of people into comics, back into comics. I hope they don't ruin it now that they're extending it out. You know, I hate to say this, but sometimes, you know, a good thing happens to the comic industry and they're like, oh, we can't get enough of a good thing. So now there's Absolute Green Lantern, and there's going to be Absolute Flash, and there's going to be Absolute Martian Manhunter. Who wants an Absolute Martian Manhunter book? How many Martian Manhunter fans are there out there? I'm 100% sure there are. I'm not going to say there aren't. And it's great. Love it. Love it. But is that the person that you bring in as, you know, your 6th book in the Absolute franchise? I don't know. I don't think they needed to go any farther out. I think the storytelling of the Trinity, you know, DC's holy trinity, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. I only say Superman first because he was first. It is so good. I don't think it's getting enough press. I don't think enough people are talking about it, even though everybody's talking about it. It really should have broke into late night television. It should have been on the news. And everybody laughs and like, look at the garbage that we have on the news all the time now. You know, they could do a 2-minute story on how the comic industry. There has been nothing. This is a major player in a major industry. And if you don't think comic books are a major industry in America, you're fooling yourself. There is a lot of people that work in the comic industry, and there's a lot of people that work because of the comic industry. You know, that whole MCU, everybody that works for the MCU only works for the MCU because of comics. Not because they loved comics, because comics created this, something that they could make movies out of, right? So everybody that works there, everybody that they pay. So caterers, like comics is a huge money stream across America. And it doesn't get its fair dues because probably for so long it was kind of shameful to be an adult reading comics. Even for as a kid, people like, I remember when I was in high school, I never really gave a crap, but like they would pick on you for reading comic books, you know, but these are people that didn't even read books. You know, at least a comic book was literature. But anyway, I digress. Off on a tangent. We need more publicity in comics. Publicity. I got it right that time. The marketing that Marvel and DC are doing is garbage. If you're hiring people on the inside to do your marketing, fire them all and hire a company. If you're hiring a company, fire them. They're not doing anything. Anybody you have working for your Instagram or your X or Reels or Threads or Blue Sky, fire them all. People join and they immediately find their favorite. Oh, I'm a big DC fan. I want to see what's going on in DC. And they follow you. You have 3 million followers. So is there 3 million comic book readers? No. Look at when you post, and this is like in like 7 of my videos, but I'm going to say it again because it doesn't seem to be cutting through. You go and see when they post about a comic book that's coming out. See how many likes they get. How many likes they get. Don't see how many views they get because you know, looking at your own thing, you can't manage who comes to your view. When you're scrolling, if you stop on that, without a like, it's a view, right? So they're getting views, but they're not getting likes. It is the conversion rate, right? In sales, it's always about conversion rate. You have 3 million possible conversions and you're getting 1,500, 3,000. That's abysmal! Find somebody that can do the job right. Find a different way to do it. Just because everybody's on their phone doesn't mean that's the good marketing for comics. Everybody's like, oh, comics should be digital because kids are in front of their screens all day. But they do things away from screens to break it up. Everybody does. You could be that thing, but you got to get it in front of them. So whoever you have doing this job is not doing it. It's a waste of money. If you want to cut costs, there's a great way to cut costs because what you're paying for is there's no real marketing happening. For what you pay the artists and the writers, you cannot expect them to market the books. And you're like, well, it's kind of like the health of their career is depending on how well the book does, so they should market this. You're a billion-dollar company. You're depending on writers and artists to come up with complex marketing. Oh, they know how to tell a story. Yeah, but creatives are not business people, right? Marketing has nothing. Some marketing has creativity to it, but usually in the most evil way, right? Key Bill Hicks again. And the reason I bring these things up over and over again is because you have to shout it from the rooftops until it changes, right? If it's still going down the wrong path, we need to find a new path. Diamond calling in these chips, and I'm segue back, calling in the chips, not actually Diamond, the bankruptcy courts calling in all these debts. There could be comic shops going out of business, and I'm really sad about that. And I know I joked about I'll buy your inventory and all, but listen, the way I've said it, I don't know, it's in all my videos. Keep reading comics, open a comic shop. The more comic shops we have, the more readers we create. If you don't think when you open a comic shop that you don't create readers, you're wrong. People just don't go, oh, now there's a comic shop. I can start, instead of buying online, I can buy from the comic shop. Maybe a few people, but most of the people, you're gonna actually create comic book readers. If we had 15,000 stores across America and they all had 30 subscribers, that would be more comic readers than we have right now. It's that simple. We need to be ubiquitous. We need to be everywhere. And yes, the comic shop online is providing comics to the people who already read comics. But if you're not going on to search for comics, you need a place that you discover them. They're no longer on a spinny rack. They're no longer in a lot of places. I've heard a lot of ideas from my buddies online at the industry show. Where can we get comics in? I think Dollar Tree having DC Comics in it is one of the great, and I have a Dollar Tree down the street from me, and the comics are $1.25. If a kid falls in love with a brand new comic for $1.25, I'm on board. Because I have dollar books. Their mom can come and buy a book and save a quarter, right? It's just the experience of your first comic, your first story, that latches you on for we need long-term customers. We don't need people to go, oh, I see a profit here. I'm gonna make profit. Oh, the profits are dying? Where's the next market? Oh, I'm gonna move into that market. We've seen a lot of our guys shift into VHS. We saw guys shift into toys. That's what I'm doing as a store. Then they're a merchant, right? They're not really they're not there for the comics, they're there for the profit. A lot of people say, well, then what are you doing? Well, come look at my bank account. I'm not here for the profit. The only reason I continue to do comics is because I love them. I make more money on Magic, on Pokemon, on vinyl records, on not so much on DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff yet, but I'm seeing that as a very big future business. The only reason I do comics is because I love them. And I don't want to see them go in the trash. I buy collections that most dealers wouldn't buy. They're musty, there's pages missing, like all this kind of absolute destroyed stuff, and I still buy it. And they're like, oh, you're dumb, you're stupid. I think myself, I have a code that I live by, just the way I was raised, and I do things a certain way. Are they the smartest to make $1 million? No, I don't want to make $1 million. Well, I don't. That's a stupid comment. I would like to make $1 million. Here, everybody send me $1 till I have $1 million. Just kidding. No, not kidding. As far as comics go, I don't see them as a commodity. A lot of people see them as that, you know. I don't care what's on the cover. Is that a $1 book, a $2 book, a $5 book? What is it? Well, no, that's, you know, that's this story. And it has an arc, and or it doesn't have an arc, like great comics from the past. But I'm droning on, and because you know, this news hit pretty hard, not because I owe them anything, but because I know a lot of my brothers and sisters in this business do, and it may be some of the largest amounts of money may be owed by some of the biggest comic shops in the country that have you know, the ability to buy that many comics. Maybe some of the big stores in New York may own, you know, when you're talking about owing $1 million, they're not giving Emmett $1 million worth of comics. You know, if I get 1,000 people through my store in a month, I'm doing good. They get 1,000 people a day, if not more. You know, in New York City, when you have, you know, 8 million people you have a shot at that live in a, you know, train stop away, they're the ones that could buy that amount, that could come up to that amount if they weren't paying. So, you know, and COVID has a part in all this too. So, you know, we'll see how it pans out in the very near future. Stay tuned, because I'll bring it to you. If you don't watch it here, I'm telling you, the industry show on Beyond Wednesdays is incredible. They had Philip from Ignition Press, who came from Boom. He's starting a new a new publisher. I keep using imprint instead of publisher. A new publisher company called Ignition Press. They are not putting out a book until I think late July or August. They have some really good ideas about comics. I'm excited for it. I'm going to try to support it as best I can. The only way I can support it is, I mean, I can support it through bringing in their books, and I will. But I'm a small comic book shop. I'm not going to do the numbers that's going to support them. This is where I'm going to support the people I think are doing the right thing, is here on YouTube. It's fantastic that, if you're still here watching, so many people are now subscribed, and it's growing and growing, and it is phenomenally appreciated. But I want to play through this, I want to play my part in pushing the people I think are doing the right thing. And if I don't think you're doing the right thing, everybody knows that I'll tell you. I've always called it righteous. A lot of people call it asshole. That's my saying. But I got one more saying, and I'm going to say it again. I said it earlier, I'll say it again. Keep reading comics and open a comic shop.